Hey guys, it's Carl from GuitarBreakdown.com, and today we're checking out the intro to Little Wing by Jimi Hendrix. It's from the Axis Bold as Love album, and I highly recommend that you buy and listen to, bathe in, bask in, whatever, as many of these Jimi Hendrix recordings as possible, because Jimi is really the father of rock guitar as we know it. The guitar is tuned down a half step, gives it that kind of throaty sound. It's in E flat. Tune your guitar so you can play along. I tuned to E flat so that it sounds as much as I could get it like the record. The tone is a clean sound, but it's not like completely spick and span clean. It sounds like a tube amp that's being run just a little bit hard, so that it distorts a little bit when you hit the strings hard. But it's still really dynamic and full sounding. Okay, if you've got a Stratocaster or a similar 3 pickup single coil type guitar, you can put your selector switch in the second position. That gives you the bridge and the neck, or rather the bridge and the middle pickup. And I'm running the volume all the way up on it so the guitar sounds real lively. Okay, that to me sounds like what he must be doing on the record. If you've got a guitar with humbuckers, you can still kind of emulate the sound by just playing with both pickups. You can try to dial in the volume with it that way. But anyway, it's kind of cool to try and get the sound to be at least in the same category, so you get the feel for it. Okay, now as far as getting started in it, I would recommend that you learn the basic chords of the progression first, because a lot of times people jump into learning this kind of thing and they want to go note for note right out of the gate, and they get a little confused about what's happening in it. And it seems a lot simpler to me if we think about what each riff represents chord-wise. Okay, so let's just break down the simple chord progression that's behind it, or being implied by it. It's going to be an E minor, G, A minor, B minor, B minor, B flat, A minor, C, G, F, C, D. And the break with the drum fill and the vocal comes in. Okay, the whole tune just repeats that chord progression over and over again. And that intro is totally based out of it, so in the next segment we're going to break down note for note what he's playing throughout that intro. Okay, let's get into the details on this thing. Let's look at the first riff, or the first thing that implies the E minor chord. Okay, so we've got string scuff and then a little piece of a chord that slides down. So, and that's just going to be E and B at the 12th fret, a little bit of the G string in there too, a little hint of it. Slide down, and then open E on the downbeat of 1. Then a couple of string scuffs on 2, and then beats 3 and 4 we've got this little lick there. So that's going to be open A, hammer on to B, open G, and so this is out of E minor pentatonic. Then we go to the 5th position, and this part of it implies just a little bit of an A minor pentatonic, and that's just going to be D, hammer on to E, So D, hammer on to E, and then a little piece of a chord there, barring the 5th fret, and then hammer on, play the same thing again, and just hammer on the A, so you let the notes across the 5th fret actually ring. So we've got what looks like a C chord, which is just the barring the 5th fret at the 4th string, 3rd string, and 2nd string, and then a hammer on, and it makes a little A minor chord there for a second, and then that's what slides down. Okay, and then we get to the next little phrase, which is on the G chord. Okay, so that's all kind of around that G chord shape right there in the 3rd position. So this is the first little kind of real Hendrix thing here, is that he uses the thumb to play the bass note and slides into it there. And some people aren't used to that. If you haven't done this technique before, you might want to experiment a little bit. I don't have really long fingers, so I feel like if I can do it, almost anybody can do it. So what I do is, when I fret with the thumb, I actually fret well inside where the knuckle is. So it's not like I'm fretting on the same part of the thumb that I would fret with like the tips of the fingers. I'm actually fretting with the inside there. Okay, so alright, so once you get that going, you're going to have an open G, and then you kind of get ready here with this little bar. So you're going to bar with the 1st finger across the 3rd string, or 3rd fret, 1st and 2nd strings, and then you hammer on, you pick that, and hammer on the A at the 5th fret of the 1st string, and then pull back off. Then you pick those again, hit the open G, or actually, I'm sorry, not open, hit the fretted G at the on the 4th string, 5th fret. And then we've got this little thing where we go. Okay, so that's part of the chord there. And it's that thing again where we play a pair of notes. We've got the 4th fret, the B, on the 3rd string, and the 3rd fret of the 2nd string at the same time, a little piece of the chord, and we hammer on to the C, and you've got the D ringing above it. So the real thing about, common thing about the way Hendrix does these things is that we're playing some things that happen on a lower string while keeping a higher string ringing. So without interfering with that string. So it might take a little practice if you're not used to it. So that's going to be hammer onto that C, and then back to just the B and D, and then back to the C again. Back to the B, and then the G on the 4th string, 5th fret. So that phrase again. Okay, so then there's a little muted G that comes to the A for the next chord, which is going to imply an A minor, and again, he's just kind of right around that chord shape. So over the A, he plays D, hammer on to the E on the same string, the 5th string. So we have 5th fret, 5th string, to the 7th fret of the 5th string, to the 3rd string on the 5th fret, the C, and back down to the 7th fret of the 5th string. And then we have okay, so that little thing there, again, just like some of the other ones where we're barring and playing a note, letting a note ring higher. So we bar across the 2nd and 3rd strings, at the 5th fret, and we're going to hammer on the D at the 7th fret. Okay, And then the same exact thing, but just the next set of strings over, the 4th and 3rd string, bar, and hammer on into the A there at the 7th fret while leaving the C ringing.